Okay, this presentation is going to focus on operating system hardening and techniques to strengthen OS security and its critical role in cybersecurity. I'm going to cover definition, principles, specific methods for different operating system platforms, advanced tools, and ongoing maintenance tools. I'm going to cover the introduction and importance of operating system hardening, fundamental principles, general and platform-specific techniques, advanced tools, and maintenance procedures for effective operation system security. Understanding what operating system hardening entails and the threats it addresses and its place within cybersecurity provides a foundation for appreciating the significance and the framework that it fits into. OS hardening is the process of reducing vulnerabilities by securing the operating system through configuration changes, patching, and removing unnecessary components to protect against attacks. This is known as reducing the attack surface as well, particular into operating system hardening. Not just there, but I'm referring to it for this purpose here. Typical threats might include malware infections, unauthorized access, privilege escalation, and exploitation of unpatched vulnerabilities, or that can be mitigated, which is reduced, okay, through effective operating system hardening. Operating system hardening will align with standards like NIST and CIS benchmarks, and also the Essential 8 as part of cyber.gov.au. Okay, so this is American, Canadian, and Australian, and other benchmarks, forming a critical layer in defence in-depth strategies embraced by organisations worldwide. Okay, so this is important not just for the places I mentioned, but for other countries and standards too. So you need to know how to do this, and you need to be doing this. Recognizing the risks and consequences of unprotected systems underscores why hardening is a cybersecurity imperative, often mandated by regulations. And this is true. Australian, American, and others mandate that you do operating system hardening. So which means you do regular operating system updates of its actual operating system programs. You do regular patch management of applications. You take off applications you are not using. The particular operating system, you must have secure passwords, like 12 character or more. Change them every month or so. Use password management, and don't use, change admin passwords, only providing people the access that they need. All these things are important, okay? Unsecured operating systems can be exploited for data breaches, ransomware attacks, or unauthorized control, which can severely impact organizations, businesses, people, individuals, and anywhere else, okay? And it will affect your reputation. Numerous incidents show how poor operating system security can lead and does lead to system compromises, financial losses, and regulatory penalties, emphasizing the need for stringent hardening. Compliance frameworks like GDPR, HIPAA, and PCI-DSS, and also Essential 8 and others, often require hardening measures to ensure data protection and risk mitigation. Okay, so many different frameworks. In fact, all frameworks require it. Okay, so this is what you need to be doing. Core principles guide the hardening process, ensuring its systematic and effective focus on minimalism, updates, and secure defaults. And you should have this documented. Okay, this should be documented as procedures that gets changed as risks evolve, as operating systems evolve, as new techniques come in. So this should be documented and have a playbook that people can follow in the event of a problem or the event of where they need to upgrade a system. Okay, so this is what you should be doing all the time. Limiting user permissions and reducing installed software minimizes attack surfaces, as I stated earlier, and potential exploitation opportunities. Limiting user permissions. This is principle of least privilege, okay? And this is give users only the roles and the software they need for their job, okay? And only the permissions in files they need for their job. Okay, so they don't need to be getting access to things they don't need. So that will help reduce problems and mistakes too. Regularly applying patches and updates is vital to close security gaps and protect against newly discovered vulnerabilities. And look, the reality is no software or anything is, no system is 100% proof against attacks. Cyber attacks can get through anywhere. Nothing is totally 100% secure. And software will be, often new software might come with vulnerabilities they don't detect. So having patches and security updates will close gaps that they've detected and past problems they've found. Okay, so this is important to update software and uninstall software you don't need is really important to protect against these sorts of issues. Configuring systems securely out of the box reduces risk and ensures that default settings do not expose vulnerabilities. And you might need to change this too. Configuring your box will depend on what you need. But if your system changes because your organization needs changes, then you need to have default settings that will change. Okay, that's just simple. Certain universal steps apply across operating system platforms to strengthen their security posture effectively. Turn off non-essential services, which will reduce the number of entry points attackers can exploit. This is, as I said, reducing the attack surface and will improve system performance. Careful management of user accounts and permissions ensure that only authorized individuals have access to sensitive resources. Okay, this is important. So operating system user accounts need to be sorted. If it's a network user accounts and server user accounts need to be sorted. Okay, so that's the job of IT people and cybersecurity, but this is something that everybody needs to know how to do, at least on your home computer. Okay, so making sure that your user account, you should be admin on your home computer, change your password every so often, use password managers. Make sure that your router and modems password is not something like admin, like making sure that IoT devices as secure as you can make them because they're a big risk to security. Using multi-factor authentication, and that's multiple methods of authentication. So it's password and one-time codes, or password and an email code, or password and some kind of access card, or password and biometric control, which might be fingerprint or eye scan or face scan, something similar. And using multi-factor authentication is a must in securing all systems. It's even a standalone user should have multi-factor authentication. Every business and organization should have this at every level. Accessing a computer, accessing the network, accessing a server should have multi-factor. Everything, cloud especially, yes, please. Windows OS requires tailored hardening strategies, leveraging built-in tools and configuration options. Group policy allows centralized management of security settings. So you can put people in groups like finance department, human resources, whatever. And you can give them, put them in a group and give them group policies to help centralize, give them all the same rights, unless someone should have more rights because they're the head of the department. You can put head of departments in different groups too. While security templates provide standardized configuration settings. Windows Defender and other native tools offer malware protection, firewall management, and system monitoring capabilities. Now, this is something that an individual should and can use. But look, Windows Defender is so-so, I'm going to be honest. It could be better, being honest. So you might want to invest in a antivirus and anti-malware tools, Norton's, others. They are expensive though. There are cheaper options. So it's going to be up to you what you get. Check them out. See what they defend against. Okay. Enabling detailed audit policies and logging helps detect suspicious activities and supports forensic investigations and organizations. Okay, so you should have auditing policies. And you can check logs even on a standalone machine. There are logs you can check, and there's ways that you can look up Copilot how to do that, or you can just go into computer management on a server. You can go into different, like looking up log files on File Explorer, and you can also see, like you should have a traffic logging device or software that can show, like, if someone give people only 5 chances to log in, because people do forget passwords, but if you see someone like 20 goes, then there's something going on, all right? Linux and Unix systems employ distinct tools and practices to secure their environments effectively. Properly setting file permissions and ownership prevents unauthorized access and modification of critical files, like change mod, okay, things like that. Ownership control, which is just saying, and making sure that it's all done. If you're adding users, you can put them in groups as well in Linux and Unix, okay? SEL or C Linux and App Armor enforce mandatory access controls to restrict program capabilities and contain potential breaches. And these are for Linux and Unix machines, okay? Obviously, I should say that, but they will restrict program capabilities to stop, like reduce attack surfaces. They will have mandatory access controls and contain security breaches. All right, so that's good. Comprehensive auditing and centralized log management enable monitoring and rapid response to security incidents. Okay. Monitoring audit logs. So this is where you could do like a list through a pipe and grep of, any access logs, any logs that have got the word error in them, like that. You could find those and list out, and you can do head and cat in Linux or Unix. Cat will display a whole file, head is only the top 10 lines, and tail is the bottom 10. So you can look at different things. You can search within a file using grep too, and you have to say what you're searching for, obviously. So it'd be grep, and in quotes usually, error or what you're looking for, access in a file. But if you're looking through a system, that you use ls pipe grep, and then what you're looking access for access logs, okay? Mac OS incorporates unique security features and requires specific approaches for effective hardening. Mac OS includes Gatekeeper, system integrity protection, and Xprotect to enhance system defenses against malware and unauthorized software. Okay, so that's good. Controlling app permissions limits access to system resources and user data, reducing privacy and security risks. And look, Mac OS, because they're not used as much as Windows systems, they're probably going to be less likely to be hacked, but that does not remove the risk. So less likely does not mean no risk. It means that you should take all the precautions you can and all the precautions you should be doing to make sure that the risk is lowered, and you should have mitigation strategies as well. So using file vault for disk encryption and ensuring secure data backups protects data confidentially and availability. And you should be doing encryption on every system, honestly. You really should. So you got to look at encryption programs for every system and backing up, secure backups, encrypt your backups, please, especially on the cloud, but encrypt them everywhere. Yep. Mobile OS, so mobile operating systems, which would be phones, hardening addresses unique challenges through app controls, device management, and encryption methods. Okay. Restricting app sources and managing permissions reduces risks of malicious apps compromising devices. Okay. MDM solutions enable centralized security policy enforcement, remote management, and monitoring of mobile devices. So this is mobile device management, MDM. I'm not so familiar with this, but it's something that you can explore. It's something I'm going to explore later down the track. Encrypting data, yes, everywhere, including on phones, and supporting remote wipe theft protection will protect sensitive information in case of loss or theft. You should be really careful what you store on your phone and what you use your phone for. I mean, I would not use it to store any organization or personal information whatsoever, like no bank account details or whatever, without encryption at least, but you shouldn't be doing it. Specialized tools assist in assessing configurations, managing patches, and scanning for vulnerability efficiently. These tools evaluate system compliance with security benchmarks and identify misconfigurations needing corrections. So configuration assessment tools. So, okay, e.g. Syscat, Linus, which I'm not familiar with these tools, so they might be Unix tools, perhaps, that I'm not familiar with, because I just use CLI, the command line interface with Unix and Linux. But look, if you know of these tools, then great. Automated patch management streamlines updates, and scanners identify potential security weaknesses proactively, enabling timely remediation to protect systems. Okay, so you should have these and what I said before. Continuous efforts maintain hardened system security posture through updates, audits, and incident readiness. Regularly applying security patches and updates ensures protections against emerging threats and exploits. Periodic reviews verify the effectiveness of hardening measures and detect any new vulnerabilities or deviations. You could hire a pen tester or ethical hacker, something like what I do, to penetrate your system with your permission and see how hard or easy it is for me or someone else like me who's got your permission, like written permission, and what we're going to test to do so, like we do it ethically, and we tell you exactly where the issues are, and we tell you how to fix them. Okay, and we have paperwork to ensure that we stick to the guidelines, and we also make sure that we sign, like any declarations to know that we're going to be ethical in our work. Preparing for security incidents with clear response and recovery plans minimizes damage and downtime. And look, this is something even a standalone user should know how to do. You can do like a system-wide backup to a cloud of just a single system. You can do a backup to like a external media. And knowing how to backup recovery, it's a Windows function that you can do. I think Mac does it. Unix not so friendly, but you can do this, and being able to do this is something you should know how to do. All right. Operating system hardening is a foundational element in IT and cybersecurity, requiring ongoing attention and tailored techniques to protect system and data.